Do you think it's reasonable to have the bronze layer as the only source of data? Think different from the typical data warehousing replication of a source system, but storing around 100 gigs of unstructured data in the bronze layer rather than on a local network drive.
Mhm.
Can this be considered a more accessible form of blob storage? Hot storage, cold storage, would this be the cost prohibitive or inappropriate to the only source of some of the data?
That's a great question.
It's
So
an
there's a
awesome
couple
question.
there's a couple questions kind of impacted in here, right? So I think the first main question is, should bronze be the only source of data? And I think I have some definitely some clear thoughts around how I feel about that one. And then um, I think the next question is here is, is there a size of scale of data, right? So
Mm,
there's kind of a scaling size thing here. Then they asked the question around hot or cold storage, which I definitely want to unpack that. There's some, I think, limitations with the fabric storage inside the lake house. You only get hot storage, you don't get cold storage there. But you would have patterns on how you would use hot and cold storage. And I believe the storage accounts now, if you bought an Azure storage account today, there's actually more than just hot and cold. I think you have warm storages now too. So you have hot, warm, and cold storage, and you have archive. There's like 4 layers of ways you can store data in case you need to store information. So
yeah.
let's unpack those.
Oh man,
What
yeah.
do you think, Todd? Let's start with this first question, I guess.
I think the first one is the one that to me is the most intriguing is not even a good enough word here, but the idea of using Fabric to only store my bronze data and use that as kind of in a sense, of just a repository of my data
Mhm.
is pretty powerful when you think about what a lot of companies go through with trying to get a hold of their data. To me, and I'll rephrase that a different way.
Hmm.
If you can get all my data in a Fabric, and even if it's in bronze, even if it's just a raw thing, but
Yep.
it's all in Fabric,
Yep.
that is a huge win for a ton of companies and like a major win. Even if we still have to do a ton of stuff and we're not there yet,
Yep.
if I can push all my data from all these different sources, Excel, blobs, other SQL databases, even, and it's all in a centralized place that I can locate,
Hmm.
I guarantee you, at least the majority of companies I work with would sign up for that today if they knew that was available.
Yes.
And I think I would call this a huge win if you were able to do this.